Hello, my gorgeous makeup-loving friends. That's right, I'm not on my own anymore. Hooray! The distress signal has been listened to and Ciele has returned. I mean, she looks as glorious as always. So, quite frankly, screw you.
Did nothing to my face, but okay.
Yeah, but it's frustrating that you can do nothing to your face and you still look absolutely glorious. So it's very upsetting and I don't like it. So like dial it back, please. Yeah, so obviously, massive thank you to all of you guys who have been tagging me this week. We have a few things to talk about. You know the drill. We every so often have a fairly quiet week, and this happens to be one of them. But thank you to everyone who tagged me. And as an FYI to my YouTube community members, if you're watching this first thing on a Saturday morning, keep an eye out because I'm doing a live just for you guys at 11 a.m. on Saturday. And I should have the new Natasha Denona I Need a Nude by then.
So we get like face swatches.
But maybe not face swatches because I have to like actually physically go to a thing. But I'll definitely swatch them all over myself, sure. Yeah. So just keep an eye out, guys. That will be happening. One of the first things that was kind of called to my attention is Marc Jacobs Beauty. And you might remember that I did a video a while ago and it was talking about brands that no longer existed, that I was like, I need them to come back. And I talked about Marc Jacobs Beauty because I had a massive amount of FOMO about the bronzer.
Oh yeah, the Omega bronzer that everyone loves.
Well, guys, it looks like Marc Jacobs is actually coming back because based upon a particular post from Trend Mood, they said that Marc Jacobs inked a licensing deal with Coty, which he previously only worked with on the fragrance portfolio. Coty has just begun work on a Marc Jacobs Prestige beauty line, which will be ready in about roughly 2 to 3 years. So it looks like we might be getting the makeup line back. It's exciting.
It's a bit of a wait. Like, why do we need these news now? I'm like, I'm gonna forget about this and then rediscover it in like 2 years. So like, oh, a new thing.
That's the most like ADHD thing you've ever said. You're going to tell me something and then I'm going to immediately forget about it until much later. Permanence.
A new thing.
I do know what, like, it makes sense that it's going to take them 2 to 3 years because obviously they're going to have to like check out formulas, etc. Because it's been a while since Marc Jacobs was around, and it would be a bit fucking weird if they came back with the exact same formula that they had previously. I would imagine they would be looking to like amplify it and make it a little bit better. So I'm kind of like, okay, 2 to 3 years sounds about right for like product development and R&D and all that sort of thing, but I might get something at some point just to be ridiculous because I mean that's very.
I've heard good things about like some of their products, so
yeah,
it's nice to have them back when, like in 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, future. If you're watching this in 2025, by the way, guys, it's out there. You can get it now. Off your shimmy. But for us in 2023, it's not available yet. But let's talk about the stuff that is actually available. And this just was made available an hour before we sat down to film. And it's the Dose of Colours Trevor Barrett Limited Edition Collection. So the full collection is $112. You can get the Dew-Lended Liquid Eyeliner for $32. The Eternal Love Eyeshadow Palette is $52. And that includes, by the way, some like duochromes. And the Rainbow Plumping Lip Gloss is $22. And 5% of sales go to the It Gets Better project, and it is available now. And lads, if you watched my video of me just talking about it coming out, because I literally got the email saying this is happening, and I looked at it and went, well, immediately I'm filled with want and desire. So it will come as absolutely zero shock that I've already purchased this.
Yeah. No, I didn't know about. Like, look at those neutral tones. Like, those are the tones that I really like. Like, not warm and not cool, but kind of like sandy. This is so pretty. And then all of those shimmers. This looks so pretty. I want it. Don't have the money to buy it, but I want it.
It is just curated so well. Like you said, like the neutrals that are in there are a little bit different than what we normally see in palettes that give us like neutral with color. I like that. I think this is a beautiful mix. like the kind of shimmery multi-chromey shades that they're offering. Beautiful. Like I'm so excited about this. And I mean, I was saying not that long ago that it had felt like it was a really long time since Dose of Colours did an eyeshadow palette that was super interesting. Like the last really big one that was like super popular for them was the Friendcation palette.
Yeah.
And I reckon this could be like a contender for that.
This should definitely be a contender.
Yeah. I am so excited. And like
I actually prefer these tones more than the Friendcation. I had it, but I gave it to Daniela because I didn't use it that much. But like these tones look so nice. And I like that there's like different kind of shimmers. It feels like there's like different finishes, maybe even.
yeah, it does look like that as well. So I mean that kind of has me intrigued. I'd say there's ones that you could like kind of get real nice sparkle from, then others that you could really build up for like full intensity. I feel like they've just done this so well. And I'll be fully honest, I had no idea who Trevor Barrett was when I posted about it. I was just like, don't know, don't care. This is done very well. And I've looked him up since, and he's extremely talented. And actually looking through his previous content, like actually, do you know what, this makes sense. I could see how this palette has come from him. It is just executed perfectly. Like
it's really nice.
And I feel like $52 for the palette itself isn't the worst price that we've seen.
Not bad for like 15. And for like Dose of Colours, so
yeah. I mean that's what 45-ish euros, something like that.
Yeah.
So I think it's priced really well, and then the fact that 5% goes to It Gets Better, which is an LGBTQ charity. I love that. I think that's really, really nice. Then, of course, we have things like that dual-ended eyeliner. Now, this makes sense, again, because I've been going through Trevor's content, and he does an awful lot of, like, eyeliner looks, of, like, really interesting graphic liners. And to the best of my knowledge, I don't ever remember having, or Dose of Colours having, like, a liquid liner before, so this is quite smart. So, it's dual-ended, so one side is white, the other side is black. So, quite clever. I mean, do I necessarily need it? No. Did I get it? Yes. Let us not discuss that particular part. But look, I do like testing out eyeliners, and I love, look at the teeny tiny tip on that black.
Look at that looks real nice.
It does. I'm kind of here for it. And then there's the plumping lip gloss. And I mean, let's be real, like Dose of Colours are known for their lip formulas, whether it's their glosses or their liquid lipsticks. So this'll be nice. Like it will. Do I love the idea of a plumping lip gloss? Hard to know.
I don't really use plumping glosses that much.
Do you know what? I've started getting more into plumping products because look at this. Look at the lack of the lips. So I've been using the MAC Squirt lip balm quite a bit to kind of go and make it look like I actually have something there. So I like the shade of this lip gloss. I will say it reminds me a little bit of, there was a Fenty lip gloss that was like yellow in color, and it was also plumping. So check your collection. You might actually be duping yourself. And by the way, I do own that, and I've bought this as well. So I don't listen to my own advice.
You should still try.
Yeah, I should try, but I'm an idiot, and that's just where we are. Now, do you know what I found really, really funny? Right, if you add up all of this, because you know me, lads, I love a little bit of mental math. So if you add it up, the palette is $52, the liquid eyeliner is $32, and then the plumping gloss is $22. So when you add it all up, it's $106. Right, 106, but to get the full collection, it's 112. So you're paying an extra $6 for a box, lads.
That makes no sense. So, I don't understand why companies do that.
I wouldn't be surprised if people kind of didn't realize that and kind of went, oh, I'll buy the full collection, just so they can have like a box and pictures or whatever, and maybe it's just I'm a little bit more callous and cold, but I'm like, I don't need pictures of people that I don't know house. Um, that feels a bit weird to me.
Like if you're gonna bundle something, make it like a little bit like worth a while picking it up.
100%. Right? If they had bundled it all together for $100, like it would have only taken $6 off, but it still would have been like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
lovely, nice round figure. So obviously, when I bought this, I bought each of them separately because I was like, I'm not going to buy the full collection box.
Yeah.
Because that's just silly. And I know it's only $6, but like, it's $6.
It's still money. Yeah.
I can use that for snacks. So I was like, oh, okay. I find that a little bit weird. I'm like, am I really going to pay an extra $6 just for a fancy box? I'm not that. You know, I'm not that intrigued by boxes that I'm going to splurge money on it, you know? Cece will be like, how dare you, mother?
How dare you not buy me the box, mother?
I will incur her wrath, and you know what? I deserve it. So I put this to you guys, and the palette did quite well. 48% of you loved it. 20% then said that you loved that 5% goes to the It Gets Better. 11% loved the lip gloss, and the eyeliner was the least popular with 7% love it, which again, I actually think makes an awful lot of sense. Then we have Danessa Myricks, and this is her new Groundwork kind of defining neutral palette, and it's coming sometime soon. She's revealed in a live that it's going to retail for $65. And by the way, all of the shades are magnetic and removable, and you will be able to kind of buy refills later on, which was what I said earlier in a previous video. I was like, I hope they actually do something like that. And she is doing that, and I think that is spectacular. The fact that there's two different formulas, that there's like a pomade and then there's a powder with a corresponding shade for
interesting for sure. I'm just like, where would I use that homemade?
Yeah.
Like, would I use it that much?
Yeah.
Because that's the bigger pan even is the pomade, and then you have the smaller pan with the eyeshadow. Like I like the color story. I like the neutral tones. I'm just a little bit like I would need to like see examples on like where you could like use that, and there's for everything, but still I'm like
like they've kind of shown that you could use, say for instance, the Shape and Fix powder on the brow. You could use the Velvet pomade to shape and line, use the pomade on the lips as part of your base to contour, to bronze, to like even highlight, to brighten, to conceal. It's sort of many things in one go type of a palette. Like I think if you put your paws on it, you'd be like, actually there is a lot that I can legitimately do here. And particularly with a pomade, the fact that you could probably decant a little bit and like mix it to make your own specific shade, I think that's actually super
I think
smart.
this would be so good for makeup artists. Like obviously everything from Danessa Marks, but you can just tell that this is for made thinking of makeup artist in mind.
Yeah, absolutely. This is straight from the mind of an MUA. And I just love, she's always come out with stuff that is like multi-use, versatile, use it all over the place. And I really appreciate that about this palette, that it is literally, I can use it on my eyes, I can use it on my lips, I can use it on my face, I can use it as liner, I can use it for this, I can use it for that. Brilliant. Like fantastic for an MUA. But I was also thinking, you know, if you're like a person who commutes to work, for example, and you're getting ready on a train or whatever, just bring that palette with you and you're done. Like I used to see people when I would go on trains early in the morning to work or whatever, and they would have like this massive bag with them, and they'd be getting ready like on the train, and I was like, Jesus Christ, you got like a whole chunk of stuff that you're bringing with you to get ready. But at least with this, it's just the one palette.
Yeah, you could do a lot with it.
Yeah, I gotta say, like a year ago, if you'd shown me, oh, this is a neutral palette, I would have been like, okay, yeah, whatever. But the more I kind of have stepped into Danessa's formulas and understood the way that she approaches things, the more she's kind of won me over, and I've gone, oh, okay, so that's what that is. And anything I've tried from her, I'm livid about because I loved them, and I was convinced that this was going to be more expensive than $65. I was convinced. And I
Yeah, that's not
actually,
too bad for Danessa.
well, A, not too bad for Danessa, but it's also apparently talc free, which always
Yeah,
drives the price anyways. So
yeah,
$65, I have to say I was pretty impressed when I saw that. And I'm definitely intrigued. I'm not gonna get it straight away, but like this is definitely on my like kind of side eye list. Do I need it? No. Do I
yeah.
want it? Yeah, I
I
do.
would love to see it in the store and like swatch it and you know.
Do you know what? I feel like that's where Danessa would do even better, because I was talking last week about the color fixes and people were like, "Oh, I don't know, they're not really for me." But I'm like, I guarantee, because I have a few. If you had it in your hand and you tried it, you'd be like, "Oh, never mind. All complaints are gone out the window." I
Yeah,
feel like her stuff, it looks great in a picture or whatever. Like, it's not that they haven't photographed it well, but there's something different about actually trying it yourself and going, oh, like the Lightworks palettes that we have, you know,
they're amazing.
you might look at them and kind of go, oh yeah, they look beautiful in the pan, but they're even more
When you
special.
swatch them, they're like
Exactly.
they're really nice.
And that's the big thing with Danessa is like, yeah, it looks nice in a picture, but it's even better when you use it. So I'm like, damn it, Danessa. I need her to like just not do so many things, because she is fast becoming one of my favorite brands. And if you know me, lads, the the urge to be a collectionist and a completionist is really strong with my little autistic brain. So I'm like, oh, I must have it all. So if you can just calm down a little bit and not come out with so much, that would be fantastic. Because then I can complete it and not like corrupt myself.
Yeah,
But
Teresa needs more time, is what you say.
I'm not saying stop doing what you're doing. I'm just saying give me more breaks, between your stuff so I can get it. I mean, I'm always looking at her stuff, whether it's on like Beauty Bay or Cult Beauty or Sephora or whatever. I'm just like continually side eyeing it and kind of going, I haven't gotten that one yet. Maybe that'll be for next payday. And I'm like, no, Teresa, you need to stop being super ridiculous. But this is definitely one. The price is right in the fact that it's so friggin' versatile. Some of those would be beautiful lip shades, like really.
Yeah, there would be.
So I think it's one of those, like, the more you would try it, the more you'd be like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
this is cool. Now, I will say when I put it to you guys, you weren't really that bothered, which I'll be honest, I wasn't that surprised about, because you guys are colourful bitches like myself, and that's why I love you. So 17% of you said that you loved it, and 22% of you said that you have enough neutrals, which is fair. But like we kind of said earlier, it really is made for it anyway.
Yeah.
Or, it's a really good Christmas gift, for somebody who's like one palette a year type thing and they'll use it to death. I think that would be brilliant for that. But
Yeah.
actually, I feel bad now for Patrick Ta, because Danessa came out with like obviously this incredible neutral palette that you can use for fucking everything under the sun, priced it at $65, it's talc free, etc. And then Patrick Ta went, hey, this is my Major Dimensions 3. It has no shimmers, it's all matte, and there's 2 cream formulas in it for $70.
I feel like this is the best one he's come out yet, like in my opinion. But it's very similar, I feel like, to the previous ones.
Yeah. Now, when you see them all together, you do actually see, no, it's not duping it. There's no like
Yeah.
redundant repeat shades. Like they complement each other, but I can see it from his point of view. That's kind of his makeup aesthetic. I will also
Yeah.
say though, there were a lot of people very, very miffed over on Trend Mood, and they were kind of saying that they have their Major Dimensions 1 and 2 and they've had major issues, major, um, because they've got mold on it.
Oh,
Mm.
that's nice.
And this doesn't seem to be very isolated. It seems to be happening to a few people. So a lot of the comments are like, this feels like a repeat store, like color line, which I would argue it isn't exactly because it's not duping, but I see what they're going. And B, they're like, I'm not going to pay $70 for something that is like going to go off. I actually had one person comment under, I think it was my Instagram, and they said that they bought it for like $69. They got 3 wears out of it, and now it has mold on it. So they were like, I got 23, like each time I used it, it had to be worth $23. And I'm like, fucking hell.
Oh my God.
You would expect a lot more. And now
I would be fuming.
Yeah, I've actually checked, because I'm looking at them over there. I've checked mine, and actually, again, if you saw like my shorts, you would have seen that my major dimensions one is fine. If there's no issue with it, it's grand.
Yeah.
I'm very light with my palettes. Like, I'm very, very light with even, like, my swatches and stuff. But mine is fine. But I am also aware that it may just be that Ireland has a really specific climate, and it's very moderate. So we don't have extremes of temperatures, and that can also impact whether or not like mold, etc. Happens. But my God, I would be fuming if I spent that amount on an eyeshadow palette and had it get mold on it after a few uses.
Absolutely fuming.
I also have people kind of say like, hold on now, this is $70. It's the same price as the previous ones, which had shimmers. Now, we all know that mattes are cheaper to formulate. He also, unlike Danessa, hasn't said that this is talc-free. So, if it has talc in it, it's cheaper to produce. Why is it $70? And then you look at Danessa and what she's doing for $65, and you're like, oh, it's badly timed. Like, I feel bad for him. If he came out with this 2-3 months ago, I think it would have done okay. But the fact that this kind of has been shown at the same time as Danessa, it does kind of make you go, oh.
Yeah.
We're breaking up the curve here, lads. Like, it's not great. Now I have, like I said, 2 of them. I'm not sure if I'm going to get this third one, particularly now with people kind of going, oh, there's mold and stuff on them, or that have grown on them. Like, it hasn't happened to mine, but the fact that I've seen a couple of people say it does kind of does worry me.
So, like,
yeah,
spend my money on something else.
And to be fair, if I'm going to get a neutral palette, it's not going to be this one. It's going to be the Danessa.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I really want to see him do a colourful palette. I know that's not his aesthetic. I know he's very like, clean beauty, look at how flawless, natural I am. Can't relate, Patrick, can't relate. But I would love to see just even like a pretty pastel palette. Do like a little wash of colour. That would be beautiful. I feel like he's playing a little bit too safe these days, and I'd just like to see that expanded upon. When I showed this to you guys, 31% of you said that it was too similar to his other palettes, and 11% of you loved it, which I felt was pretty fair. Then we have Unearthly Cosmetics, and basically they have these 2 new palettes as a pre-order, and the shipping date is at the end of October. Now, so the full story around this, which I have found out since because people were very nice and let me know down in my comments on YouTube, apparently the owner of Unearthly Cosmetics was kind of showing these sort of prototypes and how they were swatching in a YouTube live that, by the way, I can't find, so I have no idea what the swatches are like. Hence why when you go onto their website there are no swatches, because they haven't been professionally done. So what happened was she was kind of giving a sneak peek of these kind of prototype palettes, and basically everyone went, gimme, 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 we want. And being like, I would say a very responsive owner, the fact that people are saying gimme, gimme, she said, yeah, okay, I'll open a pre-order. So I didn't know this, and I was kind of going, why have you put this as a pre-order And if you go onto the website, there's little to no information. It literally just gives you the price, which, by the way, they're expensive. The Sorcerous Smoke is €57.95, and the Fall Magic Remastered is €63.95. And for me, I was like, that's a lot of money if I don't know what the swatches are like. Because they look nice in the palette, but I was like, I don't know what the story is. But actually getting the full behind the scenes kind of backstory on that, I get it now. I still wouldn't order because I haven't personally seen the swatches and I can't find swatches of it.
Yeah.
But I have been told by very reliable sources that the swatches were beautiful. So
I wouldn't expect anything else from Unearthly then.
Yeah, that's fair. I do feel, and this is just me being very pernickety, I do feel like it is quite expensive, and I've noticed their prices increasing. However, I understand why. You know, everything is increasing in price anyways, and indie brands are always the first that really get hit by that. So
yeah,
fully understandable. I will say the one that appeals to me more is Fall Magic.
I think that one is more aesthetically pleasing to me also.
100%. And there was a little bit of that when I was looking at it that reminded me of the Be Perfect Stacey Marie Antidote palette. Like I could see that with it.
Yeah.
I think it's done really, really well. And like I'm looking at these and I'm like, yeah, I could definitely make a whole look out of that palette, out of both of those palettes, without having to jump into anything else. And for that price, that's what I would be looking for. So I mean, you get that there. People like the formulas. By the accounts of people who were on the YouTube live, apparently the swatches are fabulous. So let me know, lads. Has anyone ordered it? Have you pre-ordered it? Because I'm disgustingly nosy and I want to know. I think they're nice. I haven't ended up getting them. Just I don't like purchasing blind, which is kind of funny considering I can't see anything without my glasses. But you know, they're very pretty, I will say. But at the moment, not for me. When I put it to you guys, you were exactly the same. You really went for the Fall Magic. 47% of you loved it. That's really high.
That's really good,
isn't it? And then 32% of you loved the Sorcerous Smoke, which I actually feel is like really, really good. We have this new brand and it's called Ciele Cosmetics, and by the time you're watching this, they'll have already launched with Sephora. So the backstory of this is, because I was like, how is this like random brand I've never heard of, as if I'm the arbiter of all the makeup. But I was like,
I've never heard.
Well, Teresa hadn't heard of it, so why? I had to come to Sephora. Jesus, Teresa, like, get your shit together. But I was like, that's really unusual because it takes a lot of brands like a while to get to the likes of Sephora. Like, for instance, it's only this week that Coco Cosmetics, you know, that do the little makeup sponges, that they got onto Sephora UK. So it takes a while for a brand to build up the momentum to get to Sephora, let alone a brand that hasn't launched yet, that hasn't started, that has no products. So I was like, what is the backstory with this? So Ciele Cosmetics is founded by two friends, one of which is Nikki de Roest, who is a celebrity makeup artist based in LA, and she's been doing it for over 20 years. And then her friend is, I think it's Cara Francis, and she's a rock climber and an entrepreneur. So they kind of banded together. They've made this cosmetics line. Now, the whole tagline of it is, it's clean, guys. You know how I feel about them using the term clean. It bugs me. As far as I'm concerned, put chemicals into my makeup. I'm totally fine with that if it makes it so that it doesn't end up with mold.
Yeah.
Part of why people were kind of freaking out about, say, for instance, the Kosas concealer, which was Clean Beauty, is that it went off really quickly because it's clean. So I kind of find that to be a strange move from an MUA, just on that balance.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, they've included the fact that there's no parabens, there's no phthalates, there's no talc, which that makes sense to me. And there's SPF in it, which, again, that does make sense to me. Obviously, use that in conjunction with all of your current SPF products. It'll give you a little bit more like safety, etc. But there's 3 products that they're coming out with. There's a blush, there's a tint, and then there's like a powder. So if we start off first with the Tint and Protect SPF, I, again, I'm gonna say it, was very surprised when looking at this. And I'm hoping that it's maybe that they still have to add stuff to the line, that they're building the website or whatever. Because this is a skin tint and it has SPF of 50, which is great. It's €41.31 for 38 millilitres, so definitely on the higher end. But it's light to medium coverage. So if it can be built up to medium coverage, that means that you need to have a decent shade range.
Yeah.
And when you're actually looking at the shade range, there's 13, and the deepest one isn't that deep. So
yeah,
for me, I find that very weird from it anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's maybe that they have more kind of shades made and maybe Sephora haven't ordered in all of them, or what the story is. I just find it a very odd way to have done things. Now, they do have like all of these ingredients like allantoin, which apparently moisturizes, heals, and soothes the skin. There's bisabolol, which calms, brightens, and reduces redness. And there's niacinamide, which all of us know is spectacular. I love a bit of niacinamide. But the shade range really weirded me out. And then the other thing that I found very strange was the Filter and Protect SPF 30 plus. So this comes in 3 shades. It's €35.68. You get 10 grams. So you don't get a lot of product, but you do get a velour puff. And I find that funny because I was only just talking about Lunar Beauty and the fact that you got 20 grams of talc-free powder in 4 shades for $28 with a velour puff, and this is more expensive. Now, the other thing is they've basically put a mineral sunscreen in here. If you, by the way, lads, if you don't know anything about skincare, don't worry. I don't know that much either, but it's becoming a special interest of mine. Yay, tism! But if you've like a mineral sunscreen, it does tend to leave a little bit of a white cast, right? Mm-hmm. So you can really see that in the deepest of the kind of setting powders, because you can see the before and after. She's beautiful, but it makes her look kind of ashy.
A little lighter. The skin looks lighter.
It doesn't look great. It makes her look very flat. If I'm 100% honest. You know, I definitely feel that the fact that they have that mineral sunscreen, I think that's great, fantastic, but as a powder, it's not going to fully protect you. So don't just use that anyways. But the fact that they have that in, they knew it was going to potentially lighten it a little bit further. So they definitely needed to have at least 1 more shade, because that's not deep enough.
Yeah.
In my opinion. And I feel like the price is, again, quite high.
Quite high
For what it is, you know, that. But again, that is just my opinion. And then the last thing that they were coming out with is this Blush and Protect SPF 50, and it came out in, or is coming out in 4 shades. It's €31.92 for 5.5 millilitres. Again, it includes things like the allantoin and the bisabolol, but that's pricey.
That's really expensive. Also, all the shades look quite light.
That was exactly what I was thinking. This is very,
like, this is giving me a little bit like Korean makeup.
Yes.
Right.
100%. This is giving total K-beauty. Like, but I find that so strange to me that, yes, you could start off with 4 shades, and I'm not saying you can't start off with 4 shades, but have the 4 shades at least meet some level of inclusivity. Have something that's very, very deep and something that's like more light and some medium shades. This is very Caucasian centered in general. So for me, I'm like, whoa. And then the price for 5.5 mils, I don't know. Like, I want to like it because I have a soft spot for any MUA who's starting a brand. I really feel like they're bringing their expertise to it, but I don't know what's happening here. But it's strange to me. I don't get it. I hope that they do extend upon these. I don't love that sort of thing where it feels a little bit like an afterthought, but I mean, there's part of me that's intrigued because honestly, I'm just a nosy bitch and I like to know things and I like to try things. Yeah. But this, like, I don't know if they'll be coming to Sephora UK. They don't seem to have any information on that. It just seems to be on the Sephora US and Canada for the moment. But I don't know if I would actually go and buy this from Ciele Cosmetics at that price, plus shipping, plus customs.
I wouldn't. No.
It's too much, but quite strange considering like it's a brand that's basically come out of nowhere
Yeah.
and is in Sephora. But that can be a blessing or a curse because, you know, with Sephora, you basically give them X amount of stock, but then if they don't sell it, you have to buy it back. So
Oh, that's annoying.
it can actually bankrupt companies.
What the hell? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, so if like it's great. I think that happened to one of the hair care things that Forma had bought up. Was it Playa or something? I can't remember. But they were briefly in Sephora. They didn't sell that well, and then they had to buy back their units because Sephora
Yeah.
keep them. So it can be both a blessing and a curse. They're going to have to do very, very well over the next year because just because they're in Sephora now, it doesn't mean that they're going to necessarily stay there.
Yeah.
And I think it's kind of tough for a brand to start off with kind of that level of almost achievement.
Yeah.
Like, ooh, there's room for a bit of a fall here. Maybe that's just me being super negative, but I'm a disgustingly cautious person. I'm just like, no, this seems all risky to me. But yeah, it's not for me. Now, when I put it to you guys and I showed you the setting powder, 7% of you loved it. So I think that's quite telling. The liquid blush, which by the way, I found very interesting, the 21% of you loved it. And that's bearing in mind that, think about it, traditionally, anytime we've ever shown a liquid blush, people lose their fucking shit.
Yeah.
And then the skin tint, they've said in some places that there's 30 shades, and yet in other places there's just 13. So I don't know what the fuck is going on there. But 16% of you loved it. So I guess we're going to have to reserve our judgment until we see, are they going to do the other shades? Or is it just like, no, they exist. We just don't stock them.
We have them, we just don't stock them.
Why? And I checked both Ciele Cosmetics' own website and Sephora. So it was very confusing to me. But anyways, whatever. To add further to confusion, this is Jaclyn Cosmetics or Jaclyn Hill Cosmetics, or honestly, it's hard to know what it's called at this point. This is their new Meet Vanity Light Glazed Luminizer. And part of why I find this confusing is because Jaclyn Hill, now Jaclyn Tory, did a video not that long ago, I'd say within the last week, basically saying, I'm shutting my brands down, I'm done, I don't want to be a salesperson anymore, which, you know, fair. That's not the thing that brings you joy. Kudos to you. Yeah. Fantastic. But then in the same week, Jaclyn Cosmetics then comes out with this, and she's in the promos in it. Now we know whatever is going on behind the scenes there, she didn't actually own Jaclyn Cosmetics. There's loads of paperwork that shows that she doesn't, but she says that she does. It's very weird. I don't know what's happening. I'm trying to give the benefit of the doubt, but it is all a little bit strange. So let's park that to one side. I think a lot of us weren't expecting to see anything else coming from Jaclyn Cosmetics with the whole issue with Forma and the fact that that's been bought out, and apparently the company who's bought it out are like, no, Jaclyn Cosmetics is not a priority for us. So the fact that we're still seeing stuff coming out is a little bit surprising. Now, we're putting that to the side, and we're actually going to talk about the product now. I will say, looking at this makes sense, right? If you are an OG YouTube watcher, you would know that Jaclyn is very well known for highlight. You know, she does highlight very well. It's like her collaboration with Becca back in the day was like super, super popular. So actually her coming out with her own one makes a lot of sense. When she started her brand first and she did the baked highlighters and the loose highlighters, they did very, very well. So again, coming back to another newer highlighter formula makes sense. This time it's a sort of a balm sort of a texture, which I can't lie, I like a balm sort of a texture. I think they're beautiful. They're very, very flattering on my now aging skin. Because as much moisturizer as I want to put onto my face, it still can't hide the fact that I'm fucking aging, and that's just how it is. So apparently there's oat butter, there's ceramides, there's shea butter, etc., and it's going to give you dewy, glowing, and hydrating benefits. It does look, I have to say, very pretty, and it's going to retail for it's going to retail for $30 US. Now I have to say a massive thank you to Australia 9750. That's your YouTube name, because I said in a video, I was like, wonder how much you get in terms of grams. And God bless her, she did a bit of sleuthing and she paused on several videos and she found that actually you get 8.5 grams for that. So not bad really for $30. We've seen worse. I think it looks very pretty, and the swatches that Jaclyn were showing, like on her arm and stuff, were very pretty. I'll include those now in the video, and they do look like they would give you a very like lit from within. I hate that phrase because it's so cliched, but it does look like it would give you a very nice glow. I do
do that.
Oh, 100%. I think it's beautiful. I think it's beautiful. And I do think that she didn't come out with this at the correct time.
Yeah.
Into September, weird time. This should have been spring, beginning of summer.
Yeah.
Bam type.
Oh yeah.
You know, so for me, I just feel like it's a bit of a missed opportunity. Now, I have seen, this was on Trendmood. I took the information, by the way, from Trendmood, and oh man, people are like bashing Jaclyn, the brand, etc. in the comments. It's kind of nasty. Let's not do that over here. You know, if you don't like her, that's fine. If you do, that's also fine. It's none of my business who you like, who you don't like, etc. But I do think, putting all of that aside, this is an interesting product.
Yeah,
and if you slapped anybody else's name onto this, there'd be a very different reaction, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying, very devil's advocate-y here. You know, I do feel if we put Danessa Myricks' name on this, because Danessa does have products that are like this, I think people will be like, oh my God, this is amazing. It's innovative.
Yeah.
I don't know. I personally quite like it. I think it looks nice. I won't personally be picking it up because, like, I don't know how to get Jaclyn cosmetics these days.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what the story is. But yeah, we've seen worse. Now, I don't have any stats on this yet because I've just put it to you guys, so we'll see. But the last time I was checking, it wasn't doing great in the polls. So I'd love to know your thoughts down below on that. Then we have Nomad Cosmetics. That's right, we know that we're coming into the spooky season because every year they do a themed Halloween palette, and it does look like this one has something to do with like the Wild West. Some people were saying like Deadwood and stuff in the comments. So by the time that you're actually seeing this, they'll have given the destination reveal, so exactly what this palette is based on. The color story will also be revealed on the day that you're watching this, so keep an eye out. And it's launching on Tuesday, August 28th at around 11:01 a.m. CST. So far, I mean, it looks kind of interesting. You know, we have kind of grays, green. There's a grey, a green, blue. Yeah.
This is so depressing. It looks so ugly. What is that? Like all those shades together, it's just,
it's not cohesive. It's definitely not cohesive. But I'm kind of, I don't know. I've quite a few of Nomad's stuff before, and I will say that when it comes to like their Halloween launches, they tend to go for like more, like you said, sort of depressing color stories that make you kind of go, oh, no, who hurt you?
This hurts me eyes.
Yeah, and like the thing is, there's nothing wrong with each of those individual shades. I actually think they're quite nice. But I think when you see them all together, you're like, oh, and they kind of did that with the Haunted Europe palette. It was very dark, very like, but that makes sense. That's the theme. It's meant to be like, who?
I have zero positive things to say. I like the cover art on the palette, if that's it.
Who knows? We could have some like really interesting pops in there that actually brings it all together.
I'm not keeping my hopes up.
Come on now, Tia. I'm trying. I'm trying here. I'm trying to bring a bit of positivity, which is very unlike me. Normally, I'm like the death cult.
No, no positivity.
Look, I am a sucker for Nomad Cosmetics. I have a lot of their stuff to date, and I do enjoy the quality of them, and I like their color stories in general. I'm not sure about this one yet, but I mean, they've kind of swayed me before in other things. Like I said, there's individual shades here that I think are quite nice, but then there's ones that I would personally get rid of,
Yeah.
you know. Like if it was up to me, I'd get rid of that yellowy metallic that hurts my brain. I'd probably get rid of that orangey metallic and the pinky reddy metallic. The others I'd kind of keep and then put in some like pops or like deeper shades to like.
We'll see. But
Yeah, I don't know. Like if they make something that I really don't like, that would be helpful for me, just financially. So
yeah, that's just good for me.
do you know what, lads? Like I'll take it. If I hate it, actually fantastic, brilliant. That would be brilliant for me. But I don't know what you guys think yet, so I'll pop up your opinions there. Do you hate it in the way that Tia does? Does it make you feel sad? Fantastic. But we're ending on this one. And Tia, I'm going to say this right now. If you don't like this, we cannot be.
I like this. I like it a lot.
Thank fuck, because if you didn't like this, I was going to end our friendship right here, right now. Because that's right.
Like I was ready to do.
I am that shallow. I'll ditch a friend over a disagreement about a colour story.
Don't like this. I'm not your friend anymore.
Thank you. Can you imagine? Look, lads. You know, I mean, every single time that we talk about Bella Beauté Bar, we have said, every release is getting more and more interesting and it's getting harder and harder to resist.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say it. This is the one. This is the one I'm going to get. I have to get this. I fucking love it. This is the
very Teresa.
It is. Look, it's like she just looked into my soul and went, this is what you want, isn't it? And further like sign, it's launching September 6th, which is my mother's birthday. So it's meant to happen. So I'll get a birthday gift for me, which should be for her. So I won't buy my mother a gift. I'll just get a gift for me. I'm joking. I will obviously get married. I'm not that bad a daughter. I love this so much. Like this is $65. $65. Patrick Ta, are you listening? You and your $70 silly nonsense. And Bella Beauté Bar comes out with this palette, which has more shades, actually genuinely interesting formulas. Like look at those shifts. Shut up.
Those shimmers. Oh my gosh. That blue.
Oh
my gosh. I'm just obsessed.
Like it's $5 cheaper than the Patrick Ta. Like when you think of it that way, you're like, oh, what is happening in the world? But and this is another one where like you look at the palette itself and you're like, okay, this is very pretty, but the swatches,
they don't sell it.
Oh, I want this. Do I need it? No. We all know I passed that a long time ago, but I think, I'm just looking at it, and every time I look at it, I just feel this little twinge, and I don't know where the twinge is. I don't know if it's a good twinge, is it a bad twinge? Who really knows? But I have feelings. I put this into my story today, and Bella Beauté Bar just commented back to me and went, oh, thank you for sharing. And I was like, do you want my debit card details now or just on the day? Because like this is
I'm getting it.
This is happening. So if I ever like default on my mortgage, it's just because I've broken and like bought shit I didn't need. But I have one Bella Beauté Bar palette, and that was gifted to me by the wonderful Wilma, and I loved that palette. So I'm saying loved as if I still don't love it. I do. I really enjoy it. It has a lot of like really interesting grungy greens, but I really liked their formula. So the fact that I've kind of played with their formula before and apparently they've enhanced it since, I'm like, well, this feels like a very safe purchase to me. So I'm excited. And they haven't like dragged this out either. They just kind of, I think it was about 3 days ago that they showed the cover of the outside. And now
Yeah,
they've,
I love when brands don't drag it like for too long.
and they're giving time as well. There's like 2 weeks now until it's launching so that people can put aside money, which I personally appreciate because not everyone has disposable income. Sometimes you do have to be able to like move things around. I think the price point for this is like 10 out of 10. And also there's like codes, by the way. I know that, I think it's My Makeup Radar has a code like Radar 10 that'll give you 10% off. So you could get it for like $59. Like, screw it. Can you tell I've talked myself into it? Am I subtle enough? And also, this is a further ploy to get Tia back again. Because 95% of my makeup purchases are, Tia would probably like this and she can try it when she visits.
And steal it when she leaves home.
We need to weigh your bag before when
I come in and when I leave, it needs to be the same weight.
I'm like, why are like 20 of my palettes missing? And Tia's like, I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. Why are you moving in such a stiff way, Tia? There's nothing in my bags. I never said there was anything in your bags. I think you might have smuggled on your person. And then we just find that you've taped eyeshadow palettes all around your body.
Yeah.
It's very, very.
I would feel like a cardboard box afterwards.
That's fair. That's fair. And I wouldn't hold it against you because I do have a nice palette collection, to be fair. And it does look like I will add this because this is my sort of colour story. Absolutely love it.
Oh, pretty.
I do hope that you forgive me now for having you look at the Nomad cosmetics. At least.
Yeah, I do. I do forgive you now. My eyes are at peace now.
Palette cleanse for the eyes. I don't know what you guys think of it yet because I literally just put it to you guys in the last hour or two, but I'm going to flash the stats and I swear to God, lads, if this isn't at least a 35% love it, I don't.
Teresa's gonna be furious with you guys.
I don't understand the planet anymore. You know, I feel lost. I feel unsure about my place in the world. So don't do that to me. And if you've said no, I demand a written apology. You know? But my gorgeous friends, that's it. And isn't it fantastic to have Tia back? It's great. I don't have to try and be charismatic. I just phone that out to poor Tia. Like, here, you do it. I have no personality, you do it for me. But you know the drill, I have to show you guys my favourite comment. And this is from Cherub. And she said, you know there are many pretties out there when Teresa tells us to shut up so many times in one video. That's become a really big phrase of mine. Anytime I see something I really like, I'm like, shut up. It's becoming increasingly aggressive. So I feel very seen. You guys have noticed that. So thank you. But my gorgeous friends, that's it. However, if you are, like I said, in my YouTube community, keep a little eye out because, you know, at 11 a.m. Irish time, I'll be doing a live. And I did say I will use the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude palette. But honestly, lads, I have a few other ones here as well. So we may decide as we go along. I may dip into a couple of other things like the new Glaminatrix palette. We'll have a little gawk. But my gorgeous friends, that's it. Do please like, comment and subscribe to myself. Go check out Tia, you know the drill, and do please share because sharing is caring, except of course for STDs, in which case just wrap it up. Don't be gross. But that's it. That's the end of this video and we will see you guys in the next one. Bye.
Bye.